So right now the conversation surrounding superhero games is strange. Black Panther is releasing, well, probably in a few years. There's also Wonder Woman that we'll probably be seeing here very soon. And the overall sentiment right now is that with the writing of a lot of these games, in the past few years, we don't necessarily know what to expect. Seeing lately that we've had development firms or development teams pretty much be held hostage or terrorized, in their writing room or their marketing room by so called writing consulting firms, aka activists. It's very strange to be a superhero games fan at this point in time. Already in the cinematic universes, things have been weird. Snyder comes out of nowhere. That guy, he's weird, bro. One minute, everybody is cheering for him. The other minute, everybody's looking like, man, what kind of a bumbling nut job is this guy saying that you're limiting Batman if you cannot have him kill? My guy, they've been limiting Batman for almost 80 years. How old are you? How old are you, Zach? That statement. Come on. Anyways, let's just move on from that. And it's so interesting to see that with all of this, many are not necessarily certain that, these new superhero games that are coming out are going to have the authenticity in terms of being true to the source material, in terms of being, one of these things where fandom is basically going to be accentuated. The reason I'm making this video is because this has been on my mind since Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League was unveiled. I remember we had some petty squabbles with Gotham Knights, mechanics, gameplay, and all that. But one thing that we did not have a problem much about, I can say some people may have had a problem with it. Shout out to some of you on the channel. You've, shared your opinions about the way Batman was represented in Gotham Knights. I still see a lot of people on the internet saying it's interesting that in Gotham Knights, a game that many people made fun of, the game that got a hard time, a game that people swore to me that Suicide Squad was going to be much better than. I remember people laughing at me saying, man, Suicide Squad is going to be the better game because, I was enjoying Gotham Knights gameplay. I was telling people like, man, the gameplay's solid. The story might not be your cup of tea, which necessarily wasn't mine. But as somebody who does game development, I could just tell that a lot of what was put into this game from the technical side was very sound. And this is why I usually try to dissect my games. I can criticize the writing and I can also praise the game mechanics and the game, elements that shine. Some people throw everything out with the bathwater. I don't really know how to do that. I'm a scientist. Sometimes whenever you can write a whole paper on how you failed in science and you'll get a good grade for it because you actually paid attention to all the parameters. So it's different in the way my brain works. I'm not saying it's a better approach. I'm just saying my brain worketh a different kind of wayeth. In the internet, there's not nuance, and my brain has to have nuance in it. That's just how I see the world. But in coming to terms with all of this, I wonder what these writers, aka activists, I wonder what they intend to achieve, because the beauty of being able to do fanfare is that fans will open their wallets to you. What happens when the fans don't open their wallets to you? Is this going to be another situation where just as Hollywood and a lot of the movies and cartoons and TV shows have been undergoing a lot of, failures and challenges and setbacks in terms of box office and sales and stuff? Is this going to be a situation where superhero gaming and even some gaming franchises and elements of the West are also going to suffer financially, causing what I think is a very fragile economy, an expensive to maintain economy, to quickly become more unsustainable than it's always been? And what I mean by that is, let me explain, is that a game like Marvel Spider-Man that cost almost $300 million to make does not necessarily do fanfare. You don't have any gyration or enjoyment or yippity doo dah yippity yay that you get in your, in your fandom movies and in your fandom, entertainment. And the fans are a little hesitant to now bring out more money for the Spider-Man 3 game because now they're adamant if Mary Jane is not going to take a gun or take a baseball bat and whack, everybody on the head and become the de facto hero, or OP, I don't give a, as the director said, Brian Intihar. Those things, they do resonate. Spider-Man 2 has sold less than Spider-Man 1 for some reasons that are logical. Let me give you, like, say, there are not enough consoles to have sold that much. Okay, there's 50 million of them, though. But the game is still teetering under, I don't know how many million it is now. But didn't seem like it bust wide open out the door like the other Spider-Man game, right? But now we see that the director does not necessarily, or according to him, he doesn't really care that a character who is not in any capacity supposed to be doing the things that the heroes and the anti-heroes are doing is now somehow doing them, because we know that they have these activist writers basically take their writing department hostage and has put them in a place where they may be financially, at risk of going out of business. Hey, don't be surprised. I know everybody gives Insomniac the big, accolades and whatnot, but look at Rocksteady. They basically defined a genre from a gameplay perspective, and right now they basically are the most disrespected studio of 2022 and 2023. Their gameplay for Suicide Squad was shown in 2022, and that's when the disrespect started. Don't be fooled. The disrespect did not just come out in 2023 is what I meant, 23 and 24. And so if your game is not going to do fanfare, then I believe, trust me, I think, there's a huge case to say that you're missing the point. I've always done this small comparison and saying, gamers play favorites. They'll say Helldivers is a great game because it's for democracy, while they'll say Suicide Squad is a bad game because, they both have basically similar elements. In fact, Helldivers has pay-to-win elements. But one thing Helldivers does, and I haven't said this in any video because I've just been, kind of watching the reactions from gamers. It's not like I'm trying to unnerve you. I'm just stress testing a lot of people's worldviews. I do that a lot. I'll challenge what you think and see if you can stand on business. But one thing Helldivers does, and a lot of people have said, oh, it's a cheaper price for the game, or, the game actually is not a cash grab. It is. All this other stuff. Helldivers does fanfare. It makes this huge parody of the Starship Troopers a reality for a lot of people. It really gets the job done in terms of bringing the comedy and all that to the forefront. And a lot of people just like that. That is what I think that Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League was missing. Gotham Knights actually did have that. A lot of people just were, I don't know, a lot of folk are into eye candy. They play Spider-Man. Oh my gosh, it looks a certain way. And Gotham Knights didn't look that way, so Gotham Knights must be inferior. But many of them are not true DC fans, though. That's just my opinion. Well, I would back that up by saying some of them don't even know what the heck they're talking about. Like some of the ones that did reviews and said, why would Court of Owl's enemies resurrect after you've taken them down? Yeah. I remember it was White Light that said that one. Or was it Monty Zander? It was one of those guys who basically they're good at word salad and editing on YouTube, but really are not good at actually evaluating video games. And so sometimes they'll say some crazy stuff. But at the end of the day, we're in a very strange place, and I wanted to highlight it in this video. I went from being excited for Wonder Woman to going, I'm going to put my money in my pocket because I don't really know what we're going to get. Until we see what we're going to get in terms of fanfare, then we're going to go from there. And to do Wonder Woman fanfare is a very delicate line to walk. If you don't do it very well, you're going to end up in 1984 territory. The first Wonder Woman movie was very good. 1984 was weird. Everybody was like, what the heck is this? Justice League Wonder Woman was done well. But 1984, Wonder Woman was kind of like, what? It's kind of off. So I don't know what these writers are capable of doing, to be honest. I've not been convinced that SBI and all these folk that are, basically slithering their way into the writing rooms of these video game development, firms. And even some of the writers there, I'm not convinced that they're able to, pretty much engage the fans in a fair manner and be able to kind of just appeal to them. Until we see that, we're going to continue to just be in a really strange place overall. But that's pretty much my take on this issue. I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section. Thanks so much for watching, and hopefully we'll talk pretty soon in another one. Peace out.